Hi, welcome to Empowering Women to Understanding the Different Phases of Parenting. This is a part of the Power Within series with Antoinette Walton as the host and CEO of We Empower Her. We have guests Chanel Pickram and Crystal Easley. I am Antoinette Walton. I am the CEO of We Empower Her LLC, and I want you all to know that our mission here at We Empower Her is to offer a unique educational experience for women by providing opportunities for women's empowerment. We are about to go into an icebreaker so that we can get to know each other a little bit. During the icebreaker, we will introduce ourselves. We will take about 10 minutes to share something that we would like other moms to know about parenting, and then we'll come right back and share some of those takeaways. Thank you for joining today. Welcome back, everyone. I'm gonna share the PowerPoint again. I hope y'all learned about different aspects of parenting. I know we have different age levels of parents in the group today. So hopefully you guys got some good information from the different people. Hold on just a second. All right. So does anyone mind sharing something that they learned from maybe some of the other mothers in your group?
I'll start. So I had the pleasure of speaking with Miss Yasmin, and we talked about an array of things, but the most important thing that she shared was, when she was raising her children, that her expectation was to have good grades and have respect. And so those were the two core values. And she said, if you had those things, then she would have your back tenfold. And so I love that. And so we were like kind of in different generations of parenting. And so I'm more like parenting now, and she parented like when her kids are around my age. So we were just talking about the difference between parenting in the, 90s and 2000s versus now, parenting now. So
that is a good one. I do like that. Have good grades and respect me, and the rest of that and everything else we can work it out. I do agree with that. I'm that way with my children too. So although I know I'm in a different generation than Yasmin, her generation raised me. So now I hate that we don't have anyone in the younger generation, younger than us, but hopefully that will help them when we share this. That'll help other mothers understand the different ways that we parented that we are parenting. What about in the other group? Is there anything that you guys learned that you would like to share?
For me, yes. One thing that I took away was to be intentional when raising your children. I know that sometimes for me, it can get a little difficult because I was raised in a different generation. So learning this new stuff with them, it gets a little difficult trying to understand them. And so as I go day by day, learning and growing with my children, just to be there for them, to listen to them, and to guide them and lead by example. And that was what I took away from what was told to me.
Right, like trying to you have to navigate a whole new world. And of course, maybe 20, 30 years ago, there was social media a little bit, there was the internet, but now that's inundated in their entire life, their entire being. Even in school, like some of the things that you learn in school, you have to be on social media sometimes. And so email. Email is a prime example. They use email in school now. Even my
Right.
elementary kids use email. They use different tools. So we
Right.
have to um, still be intentional, like you said, with our children, and um, try to understand the different things that are going on in their world as well.
Right.
Is that what I'm taking away from it? Like being intentional with them and understanding what's going on in their world so that you can navigate through it with them. Okay. Anyone else want to share? Yasmin or Shirley,
Well,
did you learn anything?
well, I like to say another thing that's key is communication. And so, hopefully along life's way, you'll have children that will be communicating with you if you start them out very young so that you'll know, so you can be involved with them along the way.
Sorry, I'm writing down these nuggets because these are good. So, yes, I agree with that. Communication is key, and we have to understand that with our children, we're fostering relationships. So, even with our significant others or our marital relationships, or not even marital, maybe boyfriend or girlfriend, we still have to be intentional in communication with them. But our children too, we have to be able to let them trust us to tell us things, and like you said, starting out young with that communication, you got to train up a child in the way they should go. And if you're training them up to be good communicators with you, they may not have issues with coming to tell you things. Or of course there'll be sometimes, some kids are not going to tell you everything, but they'll feel a little bit more comfortable because you open up those line of communication from the beginning, so they're not afraid to talk to you.
Right.
Thank you for sharing that.
Well, also on the communication part, as a parent, don't try to beat it out of them or make them. I think you should allow them to communicate. Sometimes parents leave their lane. And so I like to say I have two very grown men. They got grandkids. And so they even still communicate. When they were young, unfortunately, I couldn't teach a boy how to be a man,
Right.
but they would come to me and I would tell them, let me get somebody to talk to you about that, because, I can't show you how to do things, you know.
Right.
I had one son that was going to a prom and we got him a tux and I didn't know how to do the tie. We had to go next door. So in light of all those things, like I say, in the communication part, sometimes, if you can teach them at a young age that you're the very one that's got their backs and they can trust you, they'll open up to you. But in their time. And I think we all know that.
Yeah.
Like if you're going through, sometimes you don't want to tell your parent about it right away, but then after a while, you probably will.
Right.
Yes. I can attest to that. Let me tell you.
In your own
Antoinette.
time. In your own time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And like I say, as a parent, stay in your lane. Let the, especially older ones, let them come to you when they're going to come to you, because they will.
Now, Antoinette, you did something with your children that I'm doing, well, that I want to start doing with my daughters. When you created or you bought them a journal that they could write in to share things with you that way. And I find that's how I used to communicate. I rather write it down. So yes, I want that specific book. I want to make that for my daughters because she writes notes to me anyway. So I'm like, that's a good idea to have her communicate with me just in case she doesn't know exactly how to tell me verbally. We could
Yeah.
communicate that way. So I love that idea.
And they can they can draw pictures in it. I told them however you want to express yourself to me, then do it that way. they draw pictures, they write in it, and it has prompts in it too. Like it'll say like what's your favorite things and stuff like that. So it's not just all um, share all your feelings with me. It's kind of
Right.
like, hey, what's your mommy will write her favorite thing, and then you on the other side write your favorite thing. I'm trying to find it, the page where I wrote my favorite things. Um, so like on one side, I froze, hold on. So on this side is my favorite things, and then on this side is her favorite things. This one is Ania's, and it's really helpful to kind of get a lot of those feelings out and make them feel comfortable, knowing that hey, I don't have to tell you all about my day. I can just tell you, hey, this is things that I like, or I'm just going to draw you a quick picture, and then it kind of fosters that open communication. Yeah, we can talk, but this helps us start that conversation. It's not just I'm just gonna talk to. I'm just gonna
Right.
make you tell me what you need to tell me. And I think it even can work for adult children too. Um, I think I would want to do this. I was looking for one for my mom to give to my mom, and I could just go over there sometimes and say, "Hey, I'm just gonna write this in the journal."
Right.
But yeah, I think it's a good tool. All right, y'all. Thanks for sharing, everybody. I appreciate it. I'm gonna send out some of these little quotes that I got from y'all on this. I'm also gonna send a link to that journal as well in case people want to buy it. It was on Amazon. So let's move on to our speakers for today. All right, so our first speaker that we have is Crystal Easley. Crystal is the owner and founder of Destined for Excellence, and she's a professional school counselor. So Crystal, go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit more, and then we'll get into your content.
Yes, so thank you for having me, Antoinette. Just a little bit about me. I have been in education for, I think this is my 16th year. I don't know. I'm kind of losing track at this point. But prior to being a school counselor, I taught middle school English for 10 years, and I truly loved teaching reading and writing to middle school kids. And then I ventured back into counseling, which is what I kind of got my degree in. And so I'm in education. Currently, I service students in Dallas ISD at at an elementary school as their school counselor there. And other than my day job, I like to call it my day job, I have my nonprofit, which I started almost a year ago. So March 27th of last year. So we're just making a year. So hip, hip, hooray. And we are a nonprofit here in Grand Prairie, Texas. And our mission is to empower women on their journey to reaching their highest potential. And so we provide parenting workshops, and we do career exploration as well as like health and wellness activities each month. So that's a little bit about me. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and those are the hats that I wear. That's it. That's all. Okay. And so, do you want me to go ahead and move into this part? So I'm representing the working mom for this panel. And so as a working mom, I kind of maneuvered through a day-to-day schedule. So I'll get up usually about 5:30, between 5:30 and 5:45. I have to be at work by 7:30. So if anyone knows that struggle, is like, let's get the kids up, let's put their clothes on. Do you have your shoes tied? Do you have your jackets? Do you have a jacket? Okay, do you have that? And so we're off to our destination. Thankfully, one of my children, she is driving now. So she is 18 and she started driving about a year and a half ago. So she helps tremendously with dropping off my 12-year-old son because their schools are right next to each other. And so that's kind of that part, the scheduling of everything. So we're all kind of all hands on deck when it comes to getting the kids where they have to go. When it comes to the needs of each child, each need is different, right? So my 18-year-old girl, she has a full-time job and she is working. She's a senior this year. So her needs are a little bit different than the younger kids' needs. Her needs are like, I need gas money, or, I need you to help me with my college applications or do my FAFSA. So we're doing all of that right now, just to prepare her for the next chapter of her life. And then the other kids' needs are usually just, I need homework, or I need time with you, or I need help with a project, day-to-day needs of a kid. And so my goal, which I'm still trying to master because I'm definitely not a master in this parenting thing, is just to create a work-life balance, which since I've started my nonprofit has been much harder with trying to keep that afloat, and also working on my needs and the things that I desire to accomplish in life, as well as taking care of my husband and my children. So just creating that balance is what I'm trying to master right now. All right. So I kind of talked about the all hands on deck. My husband, his schedule is a little bit different. So he wakes up super, super early. He gets up, I think he said 3:30 or 4. No, it's really early. Like we're all still asleep by the time he gets up, and he's in the medical field. So he's always out the door. He's military. So he's out the door at the same time every day, which I think it's like 5:30. And so he's off to work. So when it comes to delegating or getting the kids where they need to go because of his schedule and how far he has to drive, it's really me and my oldest daughter. And so thankfully, my youngest son goes to school with me because he's in second grade. And so I just commute with him to school, and my oldest ones, they go together to school. So that hands on deck is super important. So many times my husband gets off before me, so he's able to, pick up a kid or go to the grocery store or do the things that I can't do before I get home. So that delegating task is everything. Time management is key, right? Especially when you have kids that are involved in extracurricular activities. Like my two younger sons, they play sports. And so when they're doing sports, they have to be here, or they have a game. And so I have to make sure I have time for that, as well as, again, trying to reach some of those goals that I have created for myself. So that's that part about me. So recently I was able to present at a workshop about self-care with some amazing guest speakers as well. And it just allowed me an opportunity to learn so much from them. But I did want to share a few little nuggets that I created here, just for my personal self. So allowing space for grace. Because we know that there are going to be times when we fall short, right? And there's going to be like opportunities where we're beating ourselves up. Oh, I didn't get to make this, or I didn't get to do this, or maybe I didn't do this the right way. And so just giving yourself grace throughout this whole parenting journey, because this really is a journey. Doing things that I enjoy is part of my self-care, even though we know self-care is so much bigger than, going to get your hair done or going to get your nails done, but just finding spaces for me to enjoy things that I like. Like I really just like going to brunch and I really like catching up with my friends. And so I told one of my friends recently, I have to be very intentional because this is a relationship too that I also have to foster, just like, my relationship with everyone else. And so if I want to have good friendships, I have to make myself available, and I have to, put myself out there. And the third one is super important to me because I will share that I am recently, well, this will be my 2-year anniversary. So I was married before to my children's father, and I did lose my identity in that marriage. And so maintaining who Crystal is to her core has been everything to me, you know? And so just making sure the things that I like, the things that I enjoy, who I am as a person does not get lost in all the hats that I have to wear on a day-to-day basis. So that's my self-care.
Thank you, Crystal. I have a couple of questions.
Mhm.
For time management, what are some of the tools that you use for time management? Because I must admit, I struggle with time management quite a bit. So I'm just wondering if there's any tools that you use to help yourself with that.
I wouldn't say, I mean, I don't think I do anything more than what anyone else does. Like to get up, I use my alarm. I might hit snooze a couple of times, but it's there. You know, that's what keeps me going. Oh, I do use my phone for scheduling everything at this day and age because I don't know, like last year I started getting very forgetful. And I know I haven't reached 40 yet, but it was just like I was forgetting things. So when I have like someone's birthday or a gender reveal or even this today, I put it in my phone and I have to set an alert. Like it has to alert me at least a day in advance because I'll just forget. And so those are kind of some of the tools I use, just utilizing my phone and putting things in there. And I have calendars. I do have calendars for work and I put things in there as well. So that's
Okay.
kind of how I prioritize and stay on schedule.
That's what I do too. I try to use my phone as much as I can. I actually started making me when I create something, I try to create a alert a week in advance. My daughter's birthday is next Saturday, and I looked at my phone and it gave me an alert today that her birthday is next Saturday. I'm like, what? Her birthday's next Saturday. What is this alert for? And I realized, oh, I'm trying to make sure I don't forget to plan for her birthday. So,
Right.
and then in regard to maintaining your identity, I think that's a really good point there. Is there anything that you do, I guess, particularly that helps you to maintain your identity? Because I would really like to help empower women to not lose their identity when they do have children
Right.
and have families.
Right. And so, yes. So I noticed a while back when people would introduce themselves, they would say, and people, meaning myself too, oh, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a counselor, I'm a just like all these titles and hats. But it's like, who really are you? Like, I'm ambitious. I am a go-getter. I, follow my dreams. And so just I have to sit with myself sometimes and I have to just say, okay, am I doing the things that, for one, serves my purpose, the purpose that I feel like God has given to me and created me for? Am I serving my purpose? Am I utilizing myself the way God wants me to be used by Him? And am I happy while doing so? And so my identity kind of comes from the things that I personally find, I wouldn't say pleasure, but just my happiness in. Like I'm a server, so I like to serve people. And so that makes me happy. And that's how I would identify myself. So just knowing who you are, knowing whose you are, knowing what your purpose is, and knowing what makes you happy. It's kind of how you maintain your identity.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing all this information with us
You're welcome.
and the perspective from the mom that works outside of the home. So I appreciate that that perspective for all of those that are those mothers that work outside of the home full time. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And if you guys have any other questions for Crystal, feel free to put them in the chat. Or if you think of them later, just let us know and we can bring her back up to talk about them. So next, we have Chanel. Oh, welcome, Amanda. Welcome to the webinar. So we do have now Chanel. She is a homemaker and a content creator. Chanel, welcome, and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chanel Pickron, And I am a homemaker, stay-at-home mom, family planner, doctor, lawyer, anything, you name it, that's what I am in my home. And so I'm coming here um, as a mom who's 38 with 3 children, 10, 9, and 1. She's almost 2. And I just wanted to, share some tips with you guys to see, if it might be able to help you in your journey as a parent. So one of the first things I want to discuss is the stigma of being a homemaker in today's society. Now, I've been called a lot of things because I don't work outside the home. I do have my side businesses that I do, but for the most part, my main goal is to bring up well-mannered children, smart, and just good people to add to the society. I hope I'm making sense. That's what I have had planned for my life since I was young, because I come from a single parent home, and I've seen her struggles, and I've seen I don't know, I seen a lot. I had to help raise my siblings, and so I wanted to, I knew that when I became a parent, I want to exclusively give myself to them. So that's what I do. And the stigma of being a homemaker, according to a lot of people, we get called lazy. And I hate that because we do a lot. Like, stay-at-home mothers do not get a day off. Never. You're on the clock 24/7. I'm up sometimes 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, handling the children, my husband, and things like that. So if you can go to the next slide, that would be nice. So with that being, sometimes being a stay-at-home mom or a homemaker, whatever you would like to call it, you can lose yourself. Sometimes being a homemaker is kind of difficult because normally it's a family with one income. So it can get a little challenging sometimes. So that's why I have my little things I do here and things sometimes. But I'm looking at my notes. So if I'm looking over here, I'm sorry. So maintain your sense of self. You can't lose yourself. Do things that make you happy. Crystal had touched on a lot of points that I was going to make. So just to reiterate what she was saying, do things like not just go to the spa, learn a new hobby, learn more things about yourself. I find out something new about myself every day. And sometimes when you are so focused on your family and your children, you can lose yourself. So try not to do that. Even if your self-care time is just sitting on your bed and closing your eyes. Sometimes I just sit on the edge of my bed and close my eyes and I try not to think of anything. That brings me joy from all the noise.
I just wanted to say, I know Crystal touched on it, but she didn't mention anything about, having a hobby. I think that's really a good point that you mentioned, having a hobby as a mother, whether you're a stay-at-home mother or even a mother that works outside of the home. Keeping your sense of self and maintaining your sense of self, you having a hobby or something else that you do that is not just I'm a mother, or
Right.
I'm a content creator. I do other things. I'm not just in this one individual box. Sorry, to interrupt, but I just wanted to.
No, you're good. So, what I try to do personally is I try to learn something new as often as I can. So every month I try to learn a new skill. Last week was yoga, and that was a journey. That was a journey. And another week I might learn a new recipe, or I don't know. I just like to learn new things to stay grounded. That's what keeps me grounded. And then I feel like whatever I learn, I can utilize that to pass along to my children. Like, one of the things I have been working on for the last 5 years, I've been working on a book. I haven't came up with a title quite yet, but it's a book that I want to hand down to my children of just random things that I've learned through life. If you're sick, this is what you do, favorite recipes, any type of advice. And that right there brings me comfort. And it also shows that I feel like it shows that I care about my children. I want the best for them. And I will sacrifice everything to make sure they are doing good in life. Which brings me to pretty much what I've already been talking about, self-care. Now, self-care is really important to me, especially being a mother. Just to go and take a bath can be an issue sometimes, especially that I have a toddler who wants to go everywhere with me. So I'm grateful for my husband for giving me that time to allow me to just sit in the tub and listen to my music. One of my favorite things to do for self-care is listen to music, come up, sometimes I write song lyrics, just whatever moves you, do. I feel like whatever brings you peace, whatever brings you joy is good for self-care. Another thing that I like to do is create candles. It's funny that you have this on my slide because I've been working on making candles, and not to sell or anything. It's just because I like aromatherapy. So I just want to learn different things that give me comfort. And that's knowledge that I could pass down to my children and they could pass down to theirs. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So I
That's
know
pretty-
you said that your big goal is to, you know, make sure that you're bringing up smart and well-mannered children.
Yes.
But you also know that you can't lose yourself and you still have to have self-care. So although your children are a very big part of your life, and of course, hopefully all of our lives, our children are a very big part of it. But although um, that is a big part of your life, you're saying that you don't just make that the the only thing,
Right.
especially as a stay-at-home mother,
Right.
knowing that you are your own person is important in developing yourself as a person, and that's
That
why
is
you learn a lot of information and retain that information, and then again, it goes back to the children still because you're going to be pouring what you learned into your children, but
right.
it's also for you, right? It's also
Yeah.
to help you feel like you are maintaining yourself. Um,
Right.
so the reason why I brought both of these ladies on, thank you, Chanel. The reason I brought both of these ladies on is because I wanted to kind of give a different perspective on two different sides of the spectrum. Sometimes we have mothers that are working and trying to take care of their family. And then we also have the mothers that are, they still work. Stay-at-home mothers are not just staying at home, not doing anything.
Right.
I tried it for like maybe a few months. It didn't work out for me. I could, that's not a job for me.
Yeah.
But
Not for everyone.
not for everybody. But it's a job in itself, and parenting is a job in itself. And so to add on all the other layers of what we do as mothers, what we do as business women, what we do in our lives, it's a lot. So the as you can see, the resounding theme here in parenting is still taking time out for self-care. So this is empowering women in parenting, but it's also, hey, you can be a great parent, but you do still need to take care of yourself. You still need to make sure that you finding your own identity and not just have the identity of your children,
Right.
the identity of your job. You need to find your own identity because in turn that will make you a better mother because you are taking time for yourself um to develop yourself as a person. Do y'all agree with that? You think
Yes.
right? Spot on,
You
right?
cannot pour from an empty cup. So
Yeah,
take care of yourself.
100%. Just like they say when those the masks come out the airplane, you gotta put yours on first before you put on
Yeah.
anybody else. You can't put on the kids if you can't breathe. So you can't do anything else if you can't breathe. You gotta
Right.
put yours on so you can breathe and save save yourself, and then you can take care of them and save them. So does any of our audience members have any questions or thoughts that they want to share? I do have some resources that I want to share with y'all and a little bit more information that I want to check and see if y'all have any questions or thoughts. Sounds like a no. Okay, all right. That means that y'all did a great job. They didn't have any questions. I did great. All right, so let's talk about some of the resources that we have as parents. There's several things out there. These are not the only resources, of course, but I took these resources based off the theme of what today's discussion was. So essentials for parenting, I'm gonna send this out in the email as well, but this just has some different tips and tricks for parents of young children, of teenagers, to help you go through life as a parent. If you go to this link, it's from the CDC, of some different things that they suggest for us. And then also why self-care is important for moms. Because sometimes we may kind of get lost in what's going on day to day with taking care of our families. But understanding the why behind the self-care, and we kind of touched on a little bit here already. You can't pour from an empty cup. But this is a good article as to why it's important and why you should take time out for yourself. And then also Crystal has, as we mentioned, her company Destined for Excellence. So you can find her on Facebook. Please like her page and share with your friends. And then her website is www.destinedforexcellence.org, where you can also reach her. I didn't really mention this before, but I have known these two ladies for a very long time. So I know that they really do care for their children, and then even other children. They're really invested, and I can attest that they do take time out to make sure that they are living by these things that they say. So I wouldn't bring someone here that I don't really trust, but I've known Chanel since junior high, no, elementary school. We went to church together.
Elementary, yes.
So elementary school. So that's about maybe 30 years now. And I know Crystal, she says since high school. I don't believe it. But I know Crystal since ninth grade. So I do
20 years.
Yeah. That is 20 years, but I feel like it's been longer. But I really do believe that what they're saying, and I hope that you learned something today and took something away from it. And then we also had Yasmin share today some of her tips from a mother of grown children and a mother that has grandchildren. So those were some good takeaways as well. And that's why I do this, because we have to be a community. Women, we have to be a community. We have to pour into each other and share different things of how we got through any type of situation together. So I do appreciate y'all coming today. Now, we do have our next webinar coming up in April. I don't have the date yet. I'm waiting for my person to speak on this. And I'm not a financial person, so I really can't. I'm not good at finances, so I'm having one of my sorority sisters come in and talk to us about financial bliss. She is a manager for a bank, so she is going to come and kind of help us through navigating financial wellness and getting us into financial bliss. So that will be coming in April. So look out for that information. You can also find me at Facebook at We Empower Her 21. You can also email me at weempowerher21@gmail.com. I do also have a shop where I have journals, I have cups, and I will have shirts there soon. So you can also go there and shop with me to help further my business and the things that are on the website are just empowerment quotes on them. so it really does, it can help you get through your day as well. All right, does anyone have anything else they would like to share? I'm gonna stop this recording, but thank you everyone for coming out today, and thanks for staying here with us and making this a great webinar. As always, I cannot do this without the people that come and support me, so I really do appreciate your support, and I tell you this every time you come. I do appreciate your support. Thank you so much, everyone.